No one...
Let's get scratching.
We got an explosive broadcast coming to you. Listen up. Sega games, just keep playing them.
We're back. It's the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show live. Get ready for Sega interviews and news.
I stand still along that twilight.
Hello, and welcome to the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show live. I am your longtime host, Barry, and I say longtime because the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show has been going on and off since 2010. We've had years where we've only had a handful of episodes. We've had years where we've done episodes every week. And big news out of Radio Sega, if you've ever listened to those guys. They just recently ended Saturday Night Sega. That was a podcast that actually debuted in March of 2010, so a month after us. So with this release, we are now eclipsing them on both ends. We've had episodes released before them and after them. And I'm not doing this. I'm too old for that sort of stuff now, but it is it is what keeps me going. I've said before, people say, why do you keep doing it? I'm like, it's mainly spite. If people start making me upset, I make a new episode just because I'm like, hey, ChatGPT keeps telling people you're the longest running one, but I got to put that out into the internet. And with me are they've been on the show many times actually, so it's kind of like the good old days of the Swingin Report Show where we had kind of co-hosts coming back, repeat co-hosts. That's what I started as until I took this show over. So joining us, we have from Sonic Retro and Sonic Weekly, we have David the Lurker and longtime friend of the show, Steve, aka APOC. Hello.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're rebooting the Three Stooges, and it's going to be us.
Oh,
it's going to be fun. Boink. So what we are going to be talking about tonight is Sonic Adventure 2, specifically 25 years of Sonic Adventure 2. So, it's pretty wild that it's been this long. We also have an anniversary on the horizon, the 35th, and I don't think anyone's going to argue that the 35th is so far not up there with the best anniversaries, but who knows? They've got another week to do some reveals. But I thought before we dive into things, we're just going to do a very brief overview of Sonic anniversaries. And David, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was no 5th anniversary celebration internally or externally with Sonic. It just came and went, right?
They didn't celebrate it in the sense of, hey guys, here's the 5th anniversary and here's the 5th anniversary logo, but 96 what
I gotcha. Okay, so yeah. there was a little bit of something going on, but nothing to the point of it being a big brouhaha. It really wasn't until the 10th, which is going to be our focus, so we'll skip past that. But we did have a 15th, for better or worse. Yeah. That was when Sonic 2006 came out. That was probably one of the bigger ones, though. We had Sonic 2006, obviously. Didn't we have Sonic Riders that same year? All right. And we had a logo, 1.5. That makes sense.
There's also Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance. You can't forget that one.
That's true.
It's also that they really did push the idea of, hey, this is the 15th. You're right, they did have a logo. Riders, I guess, was the first game that came out a few months before, so that kicked things off. But I mean, 2006 was meant to be like, this is the crown jewel of the 15th anniversary. You should pre-order it. You'll get a tiny little statue of Sonic if you do so. And I guess that was still kind of a novelty at the time, pre-ordering a video game and getting a statue.
Yeah.
I know video games occasionally would have bonuses, like even Sonic 3. If you pre-ordered it at certain places, you would get a music CD of Sonic CD music. But in my mind, it really wasn't until Halo 2 that people started really going like, hey, there's special editions. You got to pre-order stuff. You'll get cool things. So Sonic, it's right there. And it went well. There were no complaints from anyone.
That's true. Yeah. Moving on, the 20th, I would say, was probably one of the biggest ones, one of the most fun. We had Sonic Generations. We had fan events. We had a lot of merch. In fact, I have a shelf over here, multiple shelves, and I would say probably a third of that stuff came from the 20th anniversary, just because that was when Sonic the Hedgehog action figures really took off. That's when Classic Sonic finally started having merchandise again. I think that's when Classic Sonic actually became a what do they call that? What's the term? It was like its own licensing kit, right? And and so some people have complained that it hasn't really updated in the last 15 years, but still, at least Classic Sonic kind of had a revival with the 20th.
I mean, it's classic. It doesn't need to be revived. It's classic.
It's true. That's the funny thing, though, is that to us, going from Sonic Sonic 3 and Knuckles to Sonic Adventure 2, I feel like at the time we were just kind of like, oh, this is just how it goes. He has a new design. That other design exists in those old games. I have that old like lunchbox, but I never expected to walk into a store and see two designs of Sonic side by like 2001. It was just not expected. I don't think it really became a thing with any brand for quite some time. Mickey Mouse, I don't think buying classic pie-eyed Mickey really became a huge thing until decades later. And by decades, I mean probably like the 1980s. You would start going to Disney and they'd be like, oh, look at that. It's Steamboat Willie merch, But
I mean, a lot of stuff has done that too. Like even not to bring Turtles into this, but that's a good example too. Like we've got now they're reproducing the classic like Playmates action figures again.
Yeah.
Things like that. Whereas they changed the design like a million times, but now they kind of all exist in different times, like even the movie action figures and everything. So I guess it's just because maybe millennials are really into that stuff, like
maybe
back to that nostalgia.
I mean, there was a time, and that's actually coming up. I think it was the 25th anniversary where Sega was juggling 3 Sonics. They went in and I believe, David, they went in and actually updated 20th anniversary graphics and added Boom Sonic. Am I right?
Yeah, there was. I'd
have to check my.
It was
shirt.
a nice little promotion.
This is the 25th anniversary shirt.
Oh yeah. Is Boom Sonic on there?
No,
I think it's just modern. Regular Sonic? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Regular. Oh. There's classic, yeah.
It's modern. Small, medium, and large. That's what we call them. Not.
Right. Yes, because
supersized. Yeah. Well, Supersonic and then Supersized Sonic. But yeah, 25th was a weird one. I mean, there was that event that I had a fantastic time at.
Yes, the San Diego birthday party.
Yeah, the birthday party in San Diego. I snuck to the front. I didn't sneak. I did the trick where you like wave at someone and then you walk over and start talking to them, and then you just stay there, and they'll say like, "Oh, where are you in line?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm right here with you. I've been here." Anyway, let's go in. And I remember going in there to that empty space, and there were the demo stations and the autograph table, and I was like, let's do everything in the next like 10 minutes. Like that was, I'm not a Disney adult, but I think that's what they do. And so I pulled a Disney adult, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to get my drink, I'm going to get my food, I'm going to go play the demos, I'm getting the autographs, I'm getting all the freebies, and then I'm just going to relax. And that was a really great event, even though it was like I don't know where Sonic Boom was at that time, because there was a New York event as well that I went to, which
Right,
that was
I'm trying to
earlier.
remember. Yeah, well, right, because there was Sonic Boom 20,
That was Rise of Lyric.
12, 13, 14, right. So
And
that would have been,
then-
yeah, 2014.
2016 was the 25th anniversary party where they did Fire and Ice's demo,
Yeah,
and
there
Sonic
was-
Mania's demo.
Yes, right. And so even though Mania didn't come out until the next year, it feels like it's kind of part of the celebrations because there was a demo there. It had the logo. It had the 25th anniversary logo right in there.
Yeah,
You know, yeah, I mean, it was, I guess they were still pushing Boom, even though I think they knew at that point Boom was dead in the water.
hmm
I even did, I don't think I watched it. I think I was elsewhere, probably very drunk somewhere. They did that little performance on stage where they got all the voice actors to do a little radio play, right,
Yeah.
of Boom, in the Boom universe.
right.
So they were still acknowledging it, and you're right. There was that key graphic where they just shoved Sonic Boom Sonic in between.
We could
the other
actually
two.
reenact it now if we're all running. but
Right.
yeah,
I think that image is in the art book. That wait, who released that? I forget. It was it's that really big 25th anniversary art book. That
yeah.
is-
I still think I'm partially to blame for that book, because I remember I spoke to the guy who does that like planning, and I like talked his ear off. I don't know if it was in person or an email or something. I'm like, you guys need to do an art book. Do an art book. Get in touch with this art book guy, because I talked to the what was it? Whoever did the book. It's I can't remember
right, the name. Right, because I don't know why I can't think of the name. They're
but
not.
it's not Cook and Becker, is it?
Oh, I think that is it, because
Yeah,
Pix and
and-
Love did the history book for the 20th anniversary. So
And so I
Becker
was
did
I
the
was like,
art book.
Sega, you've already done these books. Like, do a Sonic one. People are begging for it. And so, yeah, so we got that. 25th was I mean, Sonic Mania I do consider an anniversary game. I think if it's revealed on an anniversary, it should count. Especially if it's a game that, like Sonic Mania, carries with it a lot of nostalgia and celebration of the past and the future.
Yeah.
30th anniversary, I can't remember what happened. Do you? What happened?
Well, we were still in the still like in that weird COVID aftermath where they're like, whatever we were gonna do,
Yeah.
it was put off. So like I think Colors was Colors Ultimate in 2021?
It could have been. I think that was a 30th anniversary game. Yeah.
Yes.
I bought the box set for that, and I have it over there, and it has the art book, which is they did the dreaded volume 1 labeling on it, and I'm like, don't do that unless you're gonna make a volume 2. That never pans out. And it was art from the Japanese Twitter account.
Yes.
That's what that was.
The Life in Sonic's World art. Right?
Exactly, and I'm really hoping for the a published book of characters wearing glasses. That's the current theme. You'd love it, Steve. You wear glasses.
I'm a glasses enthusiast. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever want to see Sonic wearing glasses, Metal Sonic wearing glasses, it's good stuff.
I'd pay
But
for that. I'd pay for a whole book of that. Yeah.
but I would say 30th anniversary was yeah, it's kind of what 35th is feeling like to me right now. We're moving into the 35th. David, what behind the scenes spoilers and leaks can you lay on us right now?
Oh, about what's gonna happen?
Yeah, go on. No one's listening. Come
Well,
on.
no one's listening. I don't. We're definitely. I think it's safe to say we're not getting a new game this year. I think that's a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of cool secrets to reveal. I think I don't know. Like when it comes to, hey, Sega, release a Sonic game, I'd rather they just release it when it's done, as opposed to meeting an arbitrary anniversary deadline, because that inevitably falls apart. You're not. It happened with '06 famously, but
Right.
heck, even what I guess Sonic Adventure 2. I think they did delay it a little bit. Wasn't it supposed to come out earlier in the year, but it was delayed a couple months? I know Mania was delayed. Not
Oh,
that it was
yeah.
going to come out in 2016, but it's
Team
still,
Sonic
like,
Racing was delayed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got the
Every
comic
game,
book
every-
adaptation twice, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're
With
right.
that.
They did do that twice. All right. Sometimes the comics celebrate the anniversaries. Archie did the Genesis arc for the 20th anniversary.
That's
The
true.
first Mega Drive special was also Archie for the 25th.
Mhm.
And IDW has been doing one every year since 2021, right? They did Sonic, then Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Fang.
Right.
Chaotix, and then this year they're just doing a 35th anniversary. I guess they gave up. They're like, no, who came out in '96? No, what? Tiara Bubowski? She's not
Oh,
getting
I'd
a
read that.
special. Yeah, I would.
Steve knows Tiara. Everyone does.
Yeah, I'd buy the foil cover version of that.
I would too. It's going to be like the bumpy, you know. But yeah, so as you can see, Sonic has had many anniversaries. Of course, milestone anniversaries became synonymous with Sonic. I feel like more so with Sonic than Mario. I feel like Mario fans aren't always like, oh, it's the 35th. Oh, it's the 30th. Like I feel like anniversaries kind of come and go with Mario. He has a logo. They might throw something up on Club Nintendo or whatever it's called. Steve, you're a Mario monk. Like,
Mario.
do you get a sense from like the Nintendo community that they get super amped like Sonic fans, or not really?
Nah, I mean, you're kind of like spoiled by choice with Mario, right? Like, there's a lot of clear releases. There's been releases over and over again. I think 40th anniversary came and went. I don't really remember anything. I just kind of, yeah, I don't think really, I've seen really anything from that side of the house that indicates to me that it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, we also have a comment here. Sonic Mega Collection released on the 15th anniversary.
There you
That's
go.
true, I guess, right? Did it?
Did it?
This is David the fact checker.
That doesn't sound right. Unless it was like released on the PC, because the original Mega Collection came out before Heroes.
That's true.
Yeah,
Something
and then
came
there was that, and then there was Collection Plus. I think right. Sonic Mega Collection Plus came out after Heroes, and then there was Gems Collection.
Maybe it's Sonic Megan Collection.
Megan,
Like,
like the
I don't
movie.
know. But yeah, so tonight, as I said, it's going to be fitting to look back on the first milestone anniversary that Sega gave a lot of attention to, and that, of course, is the 10th anniversary in 2001. So, guys, thinking back, can you remember what it felt like when you learned that Sonic, as a franchise, was turning 10? Because, remember, we weren't expecting an anniversary. 10 years could have come and gone, we wouldn't have cared, but Sega cared, and Sonic Team cared. So how was the series in your mind kind of defined up to this point? And did you have any expectations?
I guess the only expectation I had was I want the next Sonic game. At that point, getting a Sonic game every year was the norm instead of the exception. Because even in off years, like, like 95 was, here's a bunch of Game Gear games and Chaotix. 97, you had Jam and R. 98, technically Adventure came out, but it was only in Japan. So over here, we were like, where is it? I need it. Please give it to me. Let me drink it. You don't drink a game. That's weird. So it was just like, it's been a couple years. So when you hear the rumblings of Sonic Adventure 2 is coming, it just feels like, of course, the first one came out in 99. It makes sense that it's 2001. But I don't remember thinking of it at the time as like, whoa, this is the 10th anniversary game, until like, I guess, Sega was pushing it. Even in the initial E3 trailer, I believe it does say, hey, like, this is the 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
probably made me feel old, even though there's no reason. Like, it's like, no, you should not feel old.
You should
you're
now.
Still, oh, well, if Sonic was 10 now, I probably would feel old and confused. But that's a different story.
15
right there.
years till 50.
Whoa.
50 years of Sonic the Hedgehog.
50 years of Sonic.
Oh my god.
It almost sounds like a Rick and Morty like rant that he goes on. But yeah, 50 years of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a real thing that's coming. So in your mind then, did you, like, at this point, Sonic Adventure, of course, has been out. So you're used to that now. Were you expecting just like more of Sonic Adventure, just like more levels that looked like that? Because for me, I was actually really surprised by how much Sonic changed between games. Like Sonic 1 and 2, I mean, there are changes to the sprite, but I didn't notice them at the time. 2 to 3, yeah, there's definitely changes, but it's not like, whoa. But you then go from Sonic Adventure to Sonic Adventure 2, and my God, like all the characters look different. It's strange because they actually look more like their art style than Sonic Adventure looked like the cover art to the game. Like I have the statue for Sonic Adventure, and I look at that, and I that's synonymous with Sonic Adventure for me, but not the in-game model at all. He didn't look anything like that. In fact, I don't think there's any merch that looks like the in-game Sonic Adventure look outside of fan-made stuff. So, yeah, it's. I mean, Steve, you were what level of fan were you of Sonic? I mean, obviously you played the games, but at this time, 1999.
99, yeah. So I was probably kind of in my PlayStation era at that time, like maybe even early PlayStation 2. Or PlayStation 2 was around then, I think, but I didn't have one yet. But if I'm remembering my times correctly, it's interesting because I played Adventure. I played Adventure 2 on Dreamcast when it came out. I was not. I don't even think I was kind of aware of the branding of it being the 10-year anniversary, and as being kind of like an RPG fan, but also played a lot of the other games there. I think there's kind of in a lot of people's minds like that Sonic would be older than that, because it's like when you start to dig back and realize that the Master System technically didn't have any Sonic games like before Sonic 1, and there's all these different kinds of caveats you can have there. I think you always just like once you get into that whole Sega versus Nintendo thing, you just assume that they've been fighting each other for 30 years or something like that.
Right.
It's like it's not the pre-internet times, but it's low information internet times in 1999, right? And so a lot of the stuff was just like urban legends, or there wasn't really concrete stuff about what was actually going on. I just remember being excited because, from my point of view, the last game I had played before Sonic Adventure was Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And maybe I guess Spinball, a couple other ones that were like, I never played 3D Blast. I never played any of the Saturn games. So to me, that felt like a giant gap of Sonic, right? And so it was kind of like a return to form on Dreamcast. It was the first game I bought for Dreamcast. It was delivered during Hurricane Floyd. If over here on the Eastern Seaboard, a FedEx man came and handed it to me in the middle of a hurricane. Which
That's crazy. And then when it passed, you went outside and it was like that's how I wish every hurricane would end. Instead of this destruction and sadness, it's just like, we're up in the sky running around. But man, yeah, you've got a hurricane.
A quick aside, but I definitely thought that it was like, and I think that there's probably a good amount of at least kind of casual Sega fans at that time that had no clue, just assumed Sonic disappeared for 4 or 5 years. Because they didn't have a Saturn. Not a lot of people had Saturns, or they were, they weren't as involved with that as some other folks. There was during that time, you got a bunch of Mario games, you got a bunch of, you get Link to the Past, or not Link to the Past, you get, what's it called? Majora's Mask, and you get the N64 games. You start to see GameCube creep up. So there's you know what I mean? It's like it kind of felt a little buried back there. So I was super excited when I knew that Sonic Adventure was coming out, because it's like, this is a return to form. This is something I want to see. Yeah.
So we had teases of Sonic Adventure 2, and I feel like those teases really became defining in the lead up to the 10th anniversary. We had slightly redesigned looks for Sonic and his friends, as well as a few new faces. We were also getting teases through print, television, and internet advertising. I myself was reading, I think it was nearing the end of its run, but the official Dreamcast magazine. That's where I got all my information. I think I also would pick up issues of Next Gen. But do you have any memories of the 10th anniversary promotional materials, maybe articles, maybe even rumors and speculation? I remember hearing a lot about that. And what stuck out for you, David?
Well, I was definitely plugged in. You know, we had the internet at home,
Nice.
so I would go, you know, every day and be like, "Is there something new? Is there something new?" So of course you had like your official. I was also subscribed to the official Dreamcast magazine, but you know, there was also IGN back like that. That was sort of that was a big one, the Dreamcast section. I would also go to the Sonic HQ news feed. If you remember that website, it still technically exists. That's where like it was such a wild west that anyone could submit a rumor. Sometimes you would have a post where someone was like, "Oh yeah, I was talking to my friend and they told me that this game's coming out. I don't know if that's true," and that would be the news post. And you're like, "Wow, this is where we are." But the Sonic HQ news feed is the only thing that preserved the initial rumors of the new characters for Sonic Adventure 2. That's how we know there was a Nails the Bat. That's how we know, or that, you know, Rouge was originally named Nails because someone went to some you know, promo event, some con, something, and was like, we saw art. We couldn't take photos, but it was 2001. People didn't have camera, or it was 2000. People didn't have cameras in their pockets all the time. So that's where I would go, and like that would stick out. And then slowly, you know, the rumors about even the next wave of Resource action figures that never came out.
That's right.
That's how we found out about Shadow the Hedgehog. Like that's the first time we saw Shadow was because Resource accidentally leaked him. So that was something that also stuck out. But I mean, in terms of like official advertising, I still really enjoy that first trailer that was for E3. I mean, that to me sticks out on my mind, and then even Sonic Team slowly updating their website. It was always fun when they would add a new wave of screenshots, and they were just tantalizing you. Like, what is this? What's going on? Who is that dark Sonic? And like, how does this connect to the original Sonic Adventure? It just the possibilities were endless, and so I was consuming anything and everything that I could online, whatever news website, whatever random post on Usenet. All of it. Yeah.
Steve, how about you? Was there any marketing at that time that stuck with you, or were you kind of unplugged from news and rumors?
I think it was kind of unplugged. I was kind of more following along with what Square was doing with the newer, like kind of following all the Final Fantasy hypes that were going around at that time. I do remember, though, I think, was it EGM? Or I don't remember. I was still getting a lot of video game magazines at that time. So there were lots of articles about this kind of like a defining moment for Dreamcast. How is it going to build on the first game was a big question that a lot of people had in their minds, because it's like the first game had such a big overworld. Is there, where were they going to go with it? And I do remember, and this did come up, like the one thing that I do remember, and I was trying to scrape my brain before I came on here today about if I remembered anything. I do remember they just said that the people who had seen it said it was very different. It was something they were expecting, but also not what they were expecting. And I just recall, I think it was an interview or something in one of those magazines where people were saying, like, it's great, it's going to be very different though. And I didn't know what they meant by that, but we obviously found out.
yeah, we obviously did. I had a good friend at the time who he was equally into Sonic and Dreamcast. He actually, if I was like the American Sonic and Sega fan, he was the Japanese Sonic and Sega fan. So he would like make fun of a lot of the stuff that I liked, and I would like learn about a lot of the stuff he liked. I think there's maybe a reason we didn't stay friends, because there was like a little bit of a, not animosity, but like there was a bit of like, he would be like, oh, you watch The Simpsons? And I'm like, yeah, it's funny. And he's like, oh, well, I watch anime. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But anyway, yeah, so he and I, we would like, I think we would discuss stuff. Like, I think he was like, oh, there's a character named Terios or whatever. And then we were like, oh, maybe it's a clone, an evil clone of Sonic. Maybe this is like a genetic Metal Sonic. And so that's kind of where our brains were going. I don't think we ever thought that there would be anything from Sonic Adventure that really carried forward with Chaos or anything. And it kind of did, but it was kind of pushed to the background. Like, it was a little surprising to have artificial chaos like floating around. And I don't recall, like, David, did they ever within the game ever like explain that, or was it just kind of there and like
in game it was just sort of there. There was right, it was just implying like, oh, I guess he was doing research, because you've got the artificial chaos, you have the the shrine, the Emerald Shrine in there, but they never explicitly explained it. So instead it was all, that's where the fan theories came from, of like, oh, did Gerald, when he was trying to figure out, because also the Bio Lizard in some ways evokes perfect chaos,
right,
in that. So that's when eventually, it wasn't until Sonic X Shadow Generations that they decided to canonize the idea that he had seen Angel Island and knew about the legends and all of that. Before, it was just there, and they didn't really, it was just like, oh, he likes history, he must have looked into it, I guess.
Yeah.
That's very vague. Yeah.
So it is. Yeah, it is. And I feel like if they made the game now, or even if they remade it, they'd probably, like, Ian Flynn would probably go to the extra effort of making those connections, and everyone would be like, oh, there's extra bonus scenes of Gerald talking about chaos, like when I was in the jungles of the Mystic Runes. But that's something for another day. So I do have a selection of teaser trailers that we can take a look at. It's about 5 minutes long, but we'll skip around because I think it's a bunch of short ones. I'll turn the volume down so we can actually chit-chat over it. But this, I believe, is this the trailer from a year before? It is playing, don't worry. They're just building up the hype. So Sonic Team Presents. Wow, they were really milking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, this would be the... It's good.
It's like a spotlight over screenshots, the classic black and white logo.
Yeah.
Some dance music.
Right. The song... I forget what song... This is not a song from the game. I forget if it's just from some library or if it actually is something. So I remember watching this many times in a very small MPG file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, it's all about the, like, oh, chaos, control, like, whoa, and hero, dark. You don't know what's going on.
Right, and I remember it kind of evoked the OVA anime, because it's like different things that are alike. Ice, water, steak, cow, water, time, whatever it is. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But we did get a look at the characters here. I don't know. Did they tease Shadow and Rouge? Yeah, Showdown. They almost say Shadow, but they say Showdown. Revenge.
Yes. Yeah, but this is the trailer from E3 2000.
Yeah.
This is the first time they revealed any of it, and then there were a handful of screenshots from these same locations, and I remember being really struck by, like, the shadows. I mean, like
And then there he
the
is.
in-game shadow, their shadow, but
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, whoa, who's that guy?
And so
And I also-
there's no logo, but we did get that. This next one, it's a very cool Dreamcast intro I've never seen outside of this. And again, they have that Sonic 10th anniversary text, not so much a logo. This might be a similar one. Maybe it's in Japanese. Translate that, Steve. It's like, move that text. I want to see the gameplay footage.
Right. Well, it said Fantasy Star. This must be advertising the demo disc, right?
Right. This needs, if this is Japanese TV,
That has to be what it is.
there has to be a guy in the corner reacting, right?
There is.
Oh,
All right. That demo disc, I think, sold a lot of copies of PSO.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. I mean, I was all in on Phantasy Star Online, but when I saw that it came with a demo. Now, this video here, this gives us our first nice look at the 10th anniversary, or Anniversary 10th, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right. There's the Sonic Team logo, which I guess we haven't seen in these other videos.
Now, this is a later trailer, because they are finally giving us a little more reveal of Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, all right. Is this the trailer that's on the demo disc?
It very well might be.
Okay.
Though I
It
don't know
looks
if they show
familiar.
City Escape footage after you've played City Escape.
Well, it's still using the old logo. They haven't. I'm pretty sure that this is on that demo disc.
Well, they definitely kept Rouge in the dark, which surprises me because she's not like a vital character. She's really just an evil Knuckles for the sake of gameplay.
Right.
But yeah, they don't even tease her. But Shadow, he's really getting his teases. And again, I don't think they've name dropped him, at least in the trailers. And I just remember as a kid, like, a lot of this stuff, I was watching the trailers. I wasn't reading a lot of articles, so I'm sure a lot more information was coming out there, and I just wasn't, like, on the right websites. What's this last one here? We have about 50 seconds left. This is closer to the final game.
yeah, I was gonna say it looks like it's getting better and closer each time.
Right. Like at this point, they're telling you Tails is there. That was a big point of contention. I remember people debating, like, where's Tails? Is he not in this game? Where's Tails?
Where's
'Cause
Amy?
we saw. Yeah, not as many people were like, "Where's Amy?" But a
I
lot of
was.
people. Yeah, I mean, I guess there was the assumption of, oh, this is Sonic Adventure 2, so that must mean
Where
like,
is she?
Characters, yeah, like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy. I know people were like, "I don't want Big again." They were all wrong, of course, but
They were wrong.
they were wrong. But yeah, it took a long time. Oh yeah, that first time that moon explodes. That must have been like I don't know if that was like E3 2001 or if that's from like TGS or something. That is definitely a much later one. But yeah, it was exciting. It was seeing that evolution. I'm sure I still have somewhere like the original files I downloaded in 2000 and 2001 of all those. If you wanted the most compressed versions available, and I know you do.
I do.
But
Are they player files? Real
They're
player.
they-
film reels, actually.
yeah, they're ViewMaster discs. You just put them in, and yeah, I mean, because the internet was a lot different back then. Like anytime you got any footage was exciting. Nowadays, it's like, oh, they announce a game, and then somebody sits and streams it for an hour, and they're like, this is what the game looks like, and you can buy it in a month. But back then, any seconds of footage.
Right.
You needed them. You weren't going to get them. Then you finally get them. It was very exciting. I remember all of those coming out, except I don't remember the PSO ad, but I think it's probably because it only aired in on Japanese television. I won't confirm or that I pirated the SA2 demo disc before I bought Phantasy Star Online, because I think it came out in Japan first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
well, I won't hold it against you.
We didn't even know if that demo disc was coming to the US. It was way later that they went, oh yeah, that's also going to be in the US version. So.
Right, yes, because like as we're talking about, it was included in the Phantasy Star Online 1 release, yes. Which did come late because this is the black packaging, which they started to do later in the era. It actually, and in the inside you have this beautiful Sonic Adventure 2 ad, which is there's a mistake. I think either a print, like a design export error, most likely. If you look there is black text underneath "Coming 2001" that looks like it should be the drop shadow for text, but they didn't put the text on top. It says exclusive on Sega Dreamcast. So I bet they intended to have the white text there, and they just goofed.
Yeah.
Or they're like predicting that it's going to be on GameCube eventually.
Maybe they were like, delete that. We're going to port that. But yeah, so that was really cool to get that. And I'll admit, like, I was really looking forward to PSO, but I did play, the trial first. Had to. Because honestly, like, Phantasy Star Online, it's a long game. You boot that up the first time, you're going to be playing it for like 2 hours before you're like shutting it off. So I wasn't going to be doing that. But yeah, it is kind of interesting though, because they were teasing Sonic Adventure 2, and then some news broke. So for me, really threw a bucket of ice water all over the excitement of the January 2001 announcement was that Sega would be ceasing production of the Sega Dreamcast and becoming third party. I actually have an article that The Guardian posted 25 years ago. This was January 31st, 2001, on a Wednesday. I personally learned the news from Tech TV, I believe. I was watching Adam Sessler broke the news to me, and little did I know that I would see Adam Sessler in person years later at the Sonic 25th anniversary party, and I didn't know it was him. I thought it was like Roger Craig Smith's like relative, because he looks a little like Roger. Like they've got kind of similar features. So I looked at him, I was like, oh, Roger Craig Smith's walking around. Oh, wait, that's not him. Maybe he's related. No, it was the man who broke the news about the Dreamcast, Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. But I thought I'd quickly read this. It's not a very long article. The battle for control of the video game market claimed its biggest victim yesterday when Sega announced that it would dump its loss-making Dreamcast console in March. The Japanese firm, the world's largest, third biggest game hardware maker, said it would take a 471 million pound hit to close its assembly lines and dispose of 2 million unsold consoles. But Sega said the short-term pain was necessary. Oh, where have I heard that before? Short-term pain. To shift its focus towards the company's more lucrative software operation. Maintaining the balance between our hardware and software enterprises while securing profits has become extremely difficult, the company said. Not a person, just the company. We will rapidly shift our focus to the content business.
Content?
Yeah, they go on to say Sega began talks to design and sell games for former rivals. According to Japanese reports, Sony will acquire 4 titles, including Virtua Fighter 4. By the end of the year, Nintendo is expected to purchase at least 3 games, which is an interesting way of putting it. I've never heard them say Nintendo is purchasing 3 games, including Sonic the Hedgehog for its Game Boy Advance handheld console. Sega is also in negotiations to supply content for Xbox and GameCube. The cost of setting the business reset button is expected to result in a record loss of 58.3 billion yen. This is despite an injection of 85 billion from the pocket of Sega president Isao Okawa. It goes on to talk about some other rumors and bits, but yeah, that's the bad news that they shared with us back then. And man, yeah, it really stung. I remember in my childhood, pre 9/11, there were just a few things on TV that really upset me. It was learning that Phil Hartman was murdered. And the Dreamcast being discontinued, because it was really like I loved watching The Simpsons. I loved news radio. I loved all of his SNL stuff. Like I had that best of disc, and like that hurt. And then hearing the Dreamcast was going to be discontinued, and it was like, but we're still getting a Sonic game, right? Like I legit thought they were going to cancel the game. I thought. Maybe they would shift it to GameCube, but I remember reading Dreamcast magazine. They're like, no, you'll still get that. We're still going to support it for the year. And I'm like, wait, so I'm not going to get new games in 2002? What the hell? Like, that sucks. But yeah, do you, either of you remember when you learned about the death of the Dreamcast?
I mean, I remember hearing about it. I don't know if I fully understood it, because it was also, I remember a lot of people being like, people talking online going, well, this doesn't mean that the Dreamcast is like completely dead, right? They're just saying they're not making any more. So if everyone buys all of them, then they'll make more again, right? Like there was some coping going on there.
Yeah.
It's because you don't fully understand what the business is, and you don't know, like, if someone says we're not going to make this anymore, we're shutting down manufacturing, that is the end of it. But I think it was also a little confusing, because over the next few months you did have the different development teams at Sega say, oh yeah, we're going to be, the next Jet Set Radio is going to be on the Xbox, and Sonic Team is focusing on the GameCube. But then you had Yu Suzuki. And when he was asked, oh, wait, where's Shenmue 3 going to come? He was like, I want it to come out on the Dreamcast.
Right.
And you hear that, and you're like, well, what does that mean? Because Shenmue 2 hadn't even come out yet. That was like, that was post SA2.
Right.
So there was this weird sense of like, is the Dreamcast actually dead? Because they are releasing games. They're still making games. They're coming out. What does it really mean? Could something change?
And we had teenage brains at the time. We didn't fully understand all this stuff. So I don't know if it was coping, but for me, I was just kind of like, well, wait, if someone said we're not making DVD players anymore, or VCRs, people still have the players. So just keep making the games. So in my head, I was like, they'll keep making Dreamcast games for like 2 or 3 years. Like they'll have to, because people still own it. Why wouldn't you make games that people buy? But now I mean, I get it now. I actually bought a Wii U, and when that was new, and I didn't feel like crushed or heartbroken, but that's when I understood the business, and I'm like, ugh. I was like, that was a waste of money. I think I own 8 Wii U games, and only like 2 of them or 3 of them are really like exclusive to it still, and like games I would maybe still play.
I feel so burned by the Wii U. Like I was so excited for it. I played many hours of many games on that thing, and the fact that they just like replaced it very quickly with the Switch, I just was like, no, I'm not buying a Switch. Like screw. Like you guys do this to me with the Game Boys, where it's like a 2DS and a something DS and a flat DS or whatever you guys are doing. Like you're killing me with all these releases, and you guys are just like, we're gonna move on. Like pretty quickly, And for Nintendo, it's usually like. Think about how long the Wii was around. Like they usually have a longer life, and that kind of segues into how I kind of felt about the Dreamcast too. Because I'm assuming at this point, and you think about the history of consoles, unless they're total busts, right? Like Jaguar or 3DO. I mean, debatable how much of a bust they were, in the scale of that. But everything to that point seemed pretty healthy for the Dreamcast. I knew a lot of people who had one. And we would play I'd bring the Dreamcast over. We'd play Power Stone. It's pretty widely used by a lot of people I knew. And so it was kind of shocking to me that something that seemingly was selling pretty well, that everyone was playing. Everyone was aware of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, all the
Right.
fighting games. Like that was our main Marvel vs. Capcom system. Like it was so surprising to me that just kind of stopped. In a spot where it looked like they were ready for victory. But again, teenage brains, we don't know the finances of it. Like we don't know. We probably had no clue how the Saturn launch went. We're not going to put any of that into play. Whether or not that's the reason for Dreamcast failing. Tons of conjecture. Like I can't say it, but we didn't know any of that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I remember hearing years later the stories from like trade shows about the Saturn. I'm like, we didn't know any of that. Like, I feel like they really hype up a lot of these like press events and things back then, and I think the actions of like the prices themselves as they released the consoles, that's when it made an impact. But like that whole like, oh, Sony took to the stage and just said the name or said the price point after the Saturn. Like I really don't feel like that made a trickle on the general public at all.
No, it's something you read about now. You go like, whoa, that was crazy. But like, I saw a new Sega console and I bought it. I don't know.
Right, exactly. So we are now moving on to June. Not the guy who sings or plays guitar for Crush 40, but June of 2001, Sonic Adventure 2 finally hit retail shelves, and with it was an included birthday pack. So do either of you remember learning about the birthday pack, and did you manage to get your hands on one?
I knew about it. It was the moment I learned about it, I was like, I need this, I want this. But it made it sound, I don't know if this is actually the case. You think I would now, but I was under the impression that it was only in Japan, right? It was only a Japanese thing. Like, it was only released in Japan, right?
I think the announcement was made in sites like, I don't know what IGN was like at the time. What else? GameSpot was out there. CNET, I think, did stuff. But I remember it was revealed, and I think the outlets like Dreamcast Magazine stuff did say it will be coming to America somehow.
It will be
yeah,
right. And all I know is that I did not get it when it came out.
Man,
it would be years and years and years before I would get a physical copy. They made it when they announced, and they said it's only going to be for sale for 2 days, the 23rd and the 24th. After that, so they already were putting in like the FOMO of like, hey, you got to get it now, you'll never get it. Of course, nowadays you can go on eBay. It's there. It's never been hard to find.
Right.
But this was the first time they're like, hey, that there was any sort of special edition, anything with Sonic. So that made it feel special. The fact there was the music CD, the little booklet, all of it. Oh, there it is.
There it is. So you talk about it. Now remember, we are at the time we're used to getting like video games in like jewel cases, clamshell cases, DVD like boxes, and I don't think there were bonuses of this level of quality with the gold emboss. Like this, Sonic does not deserve this. At least he does. But you know what I mean? Like this is something where it's like, like Madonna or Michael Jackson, like might get something like this, like a prestigious musical artist, or maybe even like Star Wars as a franchise. It would be like, oh, they did a 20th anniversary Star Wars set that had a John Williams CD. Like I own some of those, and it's just the fact that they went to this level of effort for Sonic the Hedgehog, like this silly little kids video game franchise. It really elevated it, and I think this set the standard for a lot of anniversaries to come. Sonic anniversaries weren't, and not to give Mario a hard time, but the Mario anniversary logos are very fun and playful. They're usually pixels and bricks, but Sonic, they always are like, they put some time and attention to the design. Usually, they use gold, obviously with the rings, but like this, everything's shiny. Like look at the beautiful CD here with the printing on it. Watch, it snaps in half.
Yeah.
I took it out not too long ago. It's not a big deal. There we go. But like it's gold on the front and back.
Oh, nice.
And they've got all these cool little, like, the engravings on it are like, you know, you got the little classic Sonic, you got the birthday date. This is actually just like a listing of all the games. It's not actually legal text. It's everything from Sonic the Hedgehog to Sonic Adventure 2, and it says etc. to be continued, like very tiny down there. So it definitely was prestigious looking. You mentioned the coin. We have the coin here, and that was nothing too special. Like, it's Sonic and then Sonic further away. Like, they didn't really. But
what kind of material? What kind of material is the coin? Is it
solid
like
gold? Solid gold. No, it's like the kind you'd get like when you go to like a museum and they have like the Smash Penny machine and then the gold like whatever things.
So it's it's like a real coin, not like a piece of plastic. Basically.
It is like a real coin, and that became a thing too. There were anniversary coins for I own them all. The 10th, the 20th, the 25th, which was only at the event, and then the 30th. But there's no 35th, to my knowledge, yet.
Right, and there's also a handful of 25th coins for various characters.
Right.
Or maybe like Amy and Tails, and they're there.
Yeah, they also had this, and this was the big thing for me at the time, the book. I think the book is probably like the way it's made, it's kind of it's not that exciting. It's like a pamphlet, side staple, saddle stitch, not saddle stitch, but you'd think they'd put a little more effort. But it is nice with the embossing there. And it is bilingual with the Japanese and the English. And I'm sure, you know, we all, at least those of us that either got it or saw scans of it, poured over the timeline, either to see like, oh, what'd they get wrong? That's what David probably did. Where are the inaccuracies here? But it was really cool. You go to each page and you would get to see Sonic aging before your eyes. And it too, you know, I think now we look back and we're like classic modern. But I think back then they really were like, there were more than one era. Like, I think that era to this era had an in-between where Sonic was a little more refined.
Yeah.
Like classic Sonic himself. There's also this, which could fill a whole podcast, Sonic Episode 1, which when I saw this, I legit thought it was like a Star Wars Episode 1 reference, and I was like, what is this? Like, they're wasting pages in here making, like, jokes. I get this whole booklet, there's not a lot of context for things. Like, they will say, there are 3 Sonic episodes which are talked about, and it's like, I don't talk about those. Who's talking about 3 Sonic episodes? And it goes on with that whole Mary thing. They have the Sonic goods, which could fill a whole booklet, to be honest. I'm surprised there hasn't been, well, and there's those Sonic super collectors out there. I'm surprised they haven't made an unofficial Sonic collectibles book yet.
Yeah.
They should get on that. And then lastly, the iconic Sonic still goes on evolving. And then the garish cake.
Oh, yeah.
With the cookie.
They still make cakes. I know there were, like every year between 30 and 35, there'd be like, here's the cake. It's the same cake. We've just changed the last number.
Right.
Please enjoy.
So, I mean, they really did go all out with this. And there was like a lot of confusion of how you would get this thing. Because like you said, like they were like, oh, we'll sell it for 2 days. And I'm like, all right, so if I show up, I pre-ordered, this was my thing. So I pre-ordered the game and I walked into, I forget it was EB Games or Babbage's or Funko Land, one of the 3. And I walked in there and I was like, I'm ready to pick up my pre-order of Sonic Adventure 2. Like, I already paid for it. It's there for me. And they hand it to me. And I'm like, cool. Where's the birthday pack? How does that work? And they're like, oh, we're out of them. And I said, oh. And they said, yeah, we've been handing them out to every person who bought the game. And I was like, but I pre-ordered the game. You didn't set them aside? And they're like, no, it's for anyone who comes in and buys it. So I'm like, so people, as they were walking in, buying it off the shelf, they were being handed the birthday pack. And me, who bought it a month prior, they never set one aside for me, even though I already paid for it, because I didn't physically enter the store yet. And there's been a few moments in my life where I felt sick to my stomach for the stupidest reasons. There was that, and there was when I saw the commercial for Toy Story Burger King toys. And I was like, Mom, we got to go to Burger King right now. I need all those toys. And she's like, I'm making dinner tonight. We're not going out to Burger King. I'm like, oh my God, they're all gone. Like, people are there right now taking them, and their kids playing with them. And we're going to show up like this weekend, and all of them will be sold out. And that's how I felt with this. But thankfully, I did actually purchase this, I think, within like a few weeks online, of all places. And I don't remember where, but it very well could have been like NCSX, like one of those Japanese import sites that probably had their own little stash. So this is an American one because it wasn't in the box. So in Japan, they actually had like a branded box that contained the game and this, because it is the size of a game, but it wasn't sold with the game. It was just packaged separately.
Right. Yeah. The version I have is the Japanese version. It's in the box. It has the Japanese copy of SA2 with it.
Right. So yeah, so that's my story of the birthday pack. I also have this. This is of the era.
The pin.
The pin. I got one of these from winning a contest. So this was in the lead up. There was a Sega fan site called Sega Dojo, and they did a contest, and they said, make a Sonic Adventure 2 commercial, and the winner will get a copy of the game, and runner-ups will get Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic 10th Anniversary pins. And so I made one, and I've long lost the footage, but it was me in my bedroom, like teenage me wearing my 1993 official Halloween costume of Sonic. And I was on my knees, so I looked short, and I was like running, and then I'd stop and go, oh, hey, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. I just want to remind you that I got a new game coming out. You better pick it up. You better be quick. And then I took my camera, and I filmed the Dreamcast kind of in a wavy state, and I was like, only on the Sega Dreamcast, it's thinking. You know, like the commercials would do, where it was kind of like they'd show the console with a little moving camera movement. So I didn't win, but I did win the pin, which I feel like is a better prize, because if you get the game, you can. I got the game, but not everyone can get the pin. Right. So that's
true.
That's my thing.
We need to track down the people who ran Sega Dojo and see if they have the footage.
We should. I found archives of the site, and it actually has some of my earliest writings where I think I reviewed the Sega Nomad, which was my first thing. I gave it a glowing review. But yeah, so that's the birthday pack unboxing segment of the show. But now let's talk a little bit about the game itself. So Sonic Adventure did a lot for both Sonic and Sega on the Dreamcast, and Sonic Adventure 2 surprisingly took the formula to the next level. So what are your opinions on the game at the time of its release, and how have those opinions changed? And I'll turn the mic to Steve for that.
So it's interesting. So I think I was saying, like, offline or whatever, that I managed to somehow play all three versions of this game. I recently was just playing through the game, the PC version without the battle suffix, so just Sonic Adventure 2, the remake, on PC with my son probably about 6 months ago. But I also played the game back in the day, and also played it on GameCube a lot as well. It's interesting because, like, I didn't know what I was going to expect, right? Like, if you turn it on and your first experience is there's like cutscenes, and all of a sudden you're getting chased by a truck down the street, it's very different kind of in scope in terms of what you had from some of the other games. Like, is this like, am I in a rail game? Is this like, some of the stages do definitely feel like they're like rail based. Like, you know, how's this a little different? You know, and so I think that's like, in terms of my first enjoyment of the game back in the day, you know, it just seemed like something you could sink a lot of hours into. And that was kind of fun because, like, even if you beat the game, they were still getting all the emblems they were still getting all the A class stuff. There were still hours and hours of Chow stuff, and then you could just put it on your VMU and go off and do something, which I found just the sheer gravity. Like, I'm used to Sonic games being something I would beat on like a Sunday morning, and then go off, and even Sonic Adventure 2, I was able. Sonic Adventure, I remember during the hurricane, I cleared it in like 2 days or something like that. You could clear most of it, but Sonic Adventure 2, I just remember being like, there's so much to do, and I thought that was a really cool direction for them to go in. It kind of, I don't know if that's reactionary to what Mario was doing with some of the getting all the stars kind of stuff and everything.
Right.
But it was smart because it created a lot of free play value, especially the Chow races. Like, that was something that I probably spent a lot more time than I probably should have spent on.
And you could, and the only link between the two was the save file for the Chow. The Chow could be brought in from 1 to 2, if I'm remembering correctly. And I'm in retrospect, I'm kind of disappointed there wasn't a bonus for a completed save file of Sonic Adventure 1. I think that would have been a nice little perk for players of both of them.
A Sonic egg or something like that.
Like either something within the Chow Garden or I remember a big thing were downloadable menu voices, and the most obscure was the president's secretary would read the menu. And they'd have all the little character pictures, and you'd cycle between them, and then you'd see her there. And it was like, you were like, who's this? Like, I don't remember her. Like, I think Tiara Bubowski would probably be more iconic than the president's secretary, but there we go. And that's something, too, that is very interesting about the game, is that Sonic Adventure, it did bring Sonic and the human world together in a way that past games didn't. But this one, it brought the president, it brought the Middle East, like it had actual, I don't remember exactly what it was, but like Muslim religion, like imagery on screen, actual places that are important to them. And it was just kind of like, how real are we getting here? Like, the president's in it, the moon is in it, and the moon's getting destroyed. It not only did it like make Sonic and the human world even more connected, but it also brought a lot of gravity to the story. Like, there were characters getting shot, like dead off screen. Multiple characters. I think 2 characters were killed off screen by bullets. We also had Shadow seemingly dying at the end. So there was a lot of like death and finality in a game series that started where the character's head was in the corner with a little like number, and it was like, well, they'll always come back. And it was like, oh, well, will they? Like, this was the first time where you could very well have seen Eggman get gunned down and killed, as silly as that is, because there were this was the first game with real death. I don't think Sonic Adventure had that, outside of the Echidna being killed off screen, but that was so... It was never really shown, to my knowledge. They just, disappeared.
Right. It was a lot more open-ended when it came to the Echidnas.
And Tikal did become a Force Ghost, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess it also felt further away, because... Yeah, I mean, we didn't really... Most of those Echidnas we didn't know. We knew Tikal, we knew her father, and he was just like, I'm rude. But there was a sense of we saw more of Maria. We got flashback scenes with her and Shadow. We could the scene with Gerald, or when we finally hear his journal, that does hold a lot of gravitas, and so you're like, oh, this feels like a full character, and we know they died, and we know that it does a lot more heavy lifting than what happened with the Echidnas, outside of Tikal. But like you said, she was a Force Ghost, so she never felt like she was gone. Right. She was there the whole time.
And
she
also,
gave you hints.
This game, I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans were playing it well into the fall, And then that's when we had real world events happen where there were like, I mean, you know, I don't think Gerald Robotnik was a terrorist. Maybe he was, but like he was threatening to destroy the moon. He was sending out like these from the grave like videos threatening humanity. And then come the fall, like that all becomes very real for us. Like I don't think people realize that terrorists sending videos was really just kind of like a thing you saw in movies and video games up to that point. And then it was like, people are like, well, Bin Laden just posted a new video. And, you know, and you're like, whoa. So I think, I don't know if the game prepared me for what was to come at all, but it definitely, I think there was just, I feel a very brief moment of time where Sonic Adventure 2 hit different than it did after that. And I think now I can experience the game again like I did when it first released. But I think there was a long period of time where I'd play the game and I think it just hit differently because it was like Sonic saving the world from essentially a terrorist act. And they kind of play that up really in the movie, with Gerald actually being alive and threatening to destroy the world and doing these video messages. So it is I don't know, it's very interesting to have these memories of both the Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure 2, and how for me a lot of media that I consumed changed before those events. So I feel like it almost like made sense now looking back that the Dreamcast was no more after 2001, and that shows I enjoyed, kind of a lot of the shows I enjoyed actually ended in like 99 or 2000. I don't know. That's just from a consumer standpoint. Like I feel like after that, video games weren't as important to me for a time, just because I was like a lot more like aware of what was going on in the world, and then I was going off to college. So it was really the kind of the last hurrah for me with Sonic announcements. I do have a vague memory of walking the streets of Chicago and looking at my flip phone and reading a story about Sonic 06, I think it was. And I was like, I guess that releases this week or something. It might have been in a magazine. I think it was one of those free newspapers that they would give out. And it was like, there's a new Sonic game this week, like in the media section. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know, like just how much has changed from 2001 to 2006, where I was just not obsessively consuming Sonic news and playing the latest game. And I don't know, I think it was just like world events and going to college that really changed that. And it wasn't actually until Unleashed that I came back into the fold, because I was done with school. I had a little money in my pocket, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a used Xbox 360, and there's a GameStop buy 2 get 1 free used game sale. I'll get 06, I'll get Unleashed, and I'll get something else for free, you know. And that's kind of when I came back into it. But I want to talk a little bit about the music. So the music, of course, is vital to the Sonic franchise. In fact, some of the franchise's worst games have the best soundtracks. Thankfully, I don't think Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the worst games, but it does have a great soundtrack. So Steve, being a video game music composer, I'm curious to hear what your opinions are on the soundtrack. You said you did a little research before this, so I'm interested to hear what you learned and what excited you or interested you.
I think it's interesting because I think that there is a certain about time when I think a lot of game companies were kind of going in a direction of having like vocal tracks in their games. Like Capcom was very into this, like thinking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and its lovely soundtrack is the way I describe it. But it's one of those things where like, I think as a kid, I was always just like, what the heck is going on with this? Like, I don't understand how this is fighting game music at all. Like, because I'm looking for the normal tropes, the kind of like the background, the music, it like pushes the action or what. Whereas some of the stuff, like think about like Persona, things like that, where it's like this like, you know, poppy kind of singing kinds of music. So I think that, and this is really interesting. So I found an article, I think it was from 23 years ago even, where someone was just writing about how they thought Sonic Adventure 2 was the worst soundtrack of all time.
That was David.
So yeah. But it's so interesting because like that was from an era where I think a lot of people were not into that. There was like kind of a split between we're going to start making more modern game music, which is like the Halo, the kind of like that kind of stuff, and then kind of like where it splits off to being more of the classical, like old school kind of music, like which is much more the direction that like a Sonic Mania, for example, takes versus what Sonic Adventure 2 is trying to do. Guitar driven, that kind of thing. The idea too, I think, in addition to that, that each of the characters has their own kind of like game genre of music, right? Like Sonic having guitars, Tails having something similar but a little bit lighter. Then you have Knuckles with the rap, and then you also have like kind of like poppy, girly music. That's the only way I can describe it for Rouge. I'm sorry, but that's the best way I can describe it. But that kind of idea, right? I thought that was a really cool move by them. Really focusing on making sure that these were distinct. They're set up to the fact that like even when you're doing the Cannon's core mission, like I was reading on the cutting room floor, it's supposed to cycle through all of their themes as you work together, like have their like music like from their each individual character. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. It plays the wrong music for some of the characters. I think it plays like Dr. Eggman's music for Knuckles and stuff. I think that it's not supposed to make sense, but in the files they found that it's cued that way. So there's a very particular kind of way that the composer set out to, bifurcate this music to make sure that like when you played a certain character, you had that kind of music there. That said, like I think some of the Knuckles stuff is frustrating simply because like in my replay, some of those Knuckles levels are very long. They're very long, and as in 2026, like go back 25 years ago, it's fun. You're exploring. It's kind of interesting. My son was watching me. He's 7 years old, and he's a big Sonic fan. I mean, he's watched like all the Sonic shows. I got him watching, the syndicated. He knows all that stuff. So when we were doing and just watching those Knuckles levels, his attention span would just go to zero. Like absolutely, like totally, like he could not handle it. Like he'd get really frustrated, especially I think what's the Cannon's core mission? Is that the one where you have to find it in 7 minutes or something like that? Is that the Rouge level? I can't even remember. I just played this and I can't remember, but there's some timed levels. There's just different things like that. So his interest would wane, but I had the most fun playing those levels because it was like some of them genuinely were really difficult to figure out. Mm-hmm. And even with my older brain 25 years later, the music, the kind of searching thing, it kind of fits a vibe, and I think they nailed it. And if you'd asked me this 20 years ago, I'd been like, I hate that singing kind of stuff. But I really felt like it really comes together with what they were trying to do with the separation of characters. It's really smart stuff.
What did you think about the Knuckles music, particularly with the lyrics and such?
My son was asking me a lot of questions about the Knuckles music, especially since he's familiar with like Sonic Boom Knuckles and like the different iterations of Knuckles since then. It's like, isn't Knuckles kind of dumb? I'm like, well, I don't know. It depends on which Knuckles we're talking about from what generation. Right. And these, or the movie Knuckles or any of the different characters. I thought it was just I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like it bothered me a lot more when I was younger, and it doesn't bother me today. Yeah. And I think that's something that I kind of appreciate what they're trying to do. Whereas back in the day, I think sometimes I'd literally mute the television because I couldn't handle it. I'd be frustrated not finding the orbs, and then this guy is rapping the same lyrics at me every 3 minutes. I couldn't do it. But I think it's a big risk that they took. And if you look at the games like kind of coming out that time, there wasn't many people doing what they were doing. And they had like a super group of composers on the game too. Like every like top shelf person they could possibly have for a console that's dying, for a game that's releasing, for a console that's going to be gone. Like just very interesting thing what they were doing. But I really appreciate the soundtrack a lot actually. And some of the songs that I thought were really great from it, I assumed they were from like Sonic Adventure 1 or something, but most of the songs I remember are all from Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah,
and it's interesting too with the Knuckles lyrics, just because it's like his inner monologue. And I feel like they did that too with some other characters, like the Eggman music, at least his theme is from his perspective. All the characters' themes are from their perspectives. The singers are singing as though they are them. Mm-hmm. Like, when all alone in my bed, and then it was like, what was Tails' theme lyrics? It was Believe in Myself. You know, so, and that carried over from Sonic Adventure, but I think they got a lot more distinct. And I think, as you mentioned, with the level music, it's because characters had their own levels. And the Shadow music also, I believe, had lyrics in some of them, and it was a little harder for me to understand the Shadow lyrics, but it was just like, it was very interesting. I actually prefer that to the characters speaking constantly in the stages, like with Sonic Forces, where he's like, "Oh, Green Hill's looking a lot like Sand Hill right now," you know, and like it's like, all right, quit talking, like just run. And I actually like that when the lyrics are actually with the characters' thoughts, and it was very unique to have Escape from the City for Sonic, just because there weren't lyrical Sonic stages outside of maybe Sonic CD. And even those weren't really lyrical. Yeah. They had like, samples and such.
Right.
But yeah, I think overall it was like a really fun and interesting and effective way of enhancing the story by using the music and the lyrics. Even though really Knuckles just comes off as very sexually frustrated and angry all the time. He's like, if you come up to me, I'll punch you. God, what's that sexy girl all about? You know, like that's really just what's going on in his head the whole time.
That is 100% the Knuckles character.
And there's
the whole time.
There's these great, I'm sure they're TikToks, but they're cross-posted to Instagram, and it's like these black women acting out the Knuckles lyrics, but like through their body movements, and they're just like, who's that guy? You know, she's sexy, it's cool. You know, it's just kind of like, it really accentuates the lyrics, and you're like, all right, yeah, I definitely, I get that, yeah. So it's it is cool though, and I think too that Knuckles in this game really came to define his character. I know there are a lot of people who would say like Knuckles is black, like he's even though he's not black, and they did have the Jamaican edge to him for a while in the Sonic 3 Sonic and Knuckles manual. He would be like, "Hey, Mon, I'm here to give you some tips," and it's like, "Oh boy, what is it, Mon? What do you got to tell me, Mon?" But I think this Knuckles, even though the voice himself was a white guy, I met him not too long ago. I met him earlier this year at C2E2, but through the lyrics and also with Idris Elba coming in and playing him, he's definitely a black-coded character sometimes. And I think this game really went a long way to kind of make that a little more maybe obvious through the raps. So yeah, I thought that was sexy and cool, you know, whatever. But we now are moving into 2026 with Sonic the Hedgehog. He's going to turn 35 years old. At the time of recording this, no new major releases have been revealed just yet. But that said, Sonic Frontiers is receiving a Switch 2 port, which is like the biggest secret out there right now. In fact, I would have newsed about it, but Sega in the past, especially recently, has emailed us and said, like, take that down, please, which I like because it shows they're listening and looking at us. Like, if they were, like, not paying attention, then I'd be concerned.
Right.
But yeah, they're releasing a Switch 2 port. Nothing too exciting. I think it's $50, which is whatever. It's a key card, so nothing too exciting there. But it does lead me to start, kind of wondering, do you think Sega will announce Sonic Frontiers 2 as the next game? Do you think they will finally give us a main series numbered sequel outside of Sonic 4, which is an anomaly? But like, I'm talking like Sonic Adventure 2. When that was announced, I don't think there was any doubt in any of our minds that that's what the name of the game would have been. I think if anything, if it went Sonic Adventure and it was like Sonic Shadowverse, and we're like, wait, what? Like, isn't it Sonic Adventure 2? So I'm curious, especially from you, David, do you think Frontiers is worthy of getting that numbered sequel treatment, or do you think we should just pick another word out of the hat?
I would, at this point, I think you could use the number, especially if you wanted it to be like, hey, this plays like Frontiers. You enjoyed that game, right? Well, here's more of it. Here's a new one.
Right.
But I think I'd be surprised if Sega actually used the number. They've stayed so far away from making any Sonic sequel be a numbered one of any title.
Right.
And especially like I don't know any game I think that they would just throw a number next to it now. I think it would be fun. The only time I think at this point Sega will use a number is if they make a game and call it Sonic Adventure 3, which I don't think they're going to do anytime soon.
No.
But other than that, I just don't see them using numbers. But I'd like to be proven wrong. I would like the next game to actually be called Sonic Frontiers 2, and we're somewhere else, and it's a different frontier. Maybe it looks a bit more Sonic-y, but like, just let me know we're iterating on the formula, and maybe that's something that's been missing from the game titles. You don't really get a sense of, is this an iteration on the previous game or is this something completely different? The only way you know that, if you're not paying attention, all the news is playing it, and you're like, oh, it's a boost game. Oh, it's a not boost game.
I think with Sonic, obviously Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Frontiers, those are really the three games that had kind of broken through to the general populace and caught a lot of attention, and I think a lot of love and interest in them. Of course, I could also say Mania as well, but that didn't really get a sequel. But, you know, all that said, I feel like they would really be making a mistake if they made a game that played a lot like Frontiers, but it was titled something different. Because you want to catch the attention of the people who specifically liked Frontiers. Even if you don't do a number, I feel like if they did something like Sonic New Frontiers as the next one, and then like they could do a cheeky like New rhymes with 2. Something like that. Now, we've seen that recently with Virtua Fighter Crossroads, where the VI is the 6. And I thought they were afraid to do numbering for the Virtua Fighter games, but clearly it's there. It's just a little obscured or hidden. So same with, I do believe, Yakuza. They haven't been doing numbers, but they've been hiding it. Like Infinite Wealth is the 8 turned on its side. They did that. So I think there is something there. I think they would be making a mistake, though, if they do return to the formula but not use the title, just because there's a lot of goodwill in that title, just like there was a lot of goodwill in Sonic Adventure as a title, which is why they did 2. And I think really is if it deserves to have the title carry forward if you are reusing a lot of those elements. I don't really think there has been situations as of recent where they could have done that, because every game has been very different, from Unleashed, which was World Adventure in Japan, but like Colors felt very different from other things, Forces felt very different from other things. None of those games felt like a true continuation of everything, and I feel like if they do a reinvention of the wheel again and it's great, that's awesome, but if they do a reinvention of the wheel and it's bad, then we're back in the Sonic cycle, I guess they'd call it. So I really think use what worked with Frontiers, expand on it, and reuse that name. But you can do something like, what was it, Steve, with like the Zelda ones? It's like Breath of the Wild, and then what was the sequel? It was something of the Wild, or
Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom, was that it?
Yeah.
But like they at least did carry on that like buh of the buh, and they gave the game cover art like similar vibes to the other one. So I feel like if it's a new island, new adventures, I think that could be really exciting. Now there have been rumors of what will be soon treated to next week. I don't think it'll be much, but let's say that they do give us a like redesign of Sonic. You know, we don't know what it's going to look like, but I thought it would be fun to kind of wrap up the show with a little group think. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to redesign Sonic the Hedgehog right here. So I'm trying to move my microphone. I might be a little quieter, but I've got my marker. I got my paper, and you can be my Sega executive. So I'm who's the big Sonic artist right now? Working for them, doing that art.
I mean, there's
Hopefully it's not AI.
there's always Yukawa. There's Evan Stanley is the official lore artist,
Okay.
right?
Let's say I'm Yukawa. I'm at my drawing board, and you're like the Sega executives, like Azuka, like smoking, standing
Right.
behind my neck. I smell the nicotine. And he's like, okay, we got to redesign it. So let's start with, I always draw the eyes first. So is there anything you'd want to like do differently with Sonic's eyes?
Something different. Let's see. Okay, what you know how there's like so it's the big mono eye.
Yeah.
What if in the middle there's like another little bump, so it's like there isn't a third pupil, but there's like he is opening his third eye now. That's what
Okay,
he's doing.
all right, that's fine. That's subtle, but I like that. How about the pupils? Are we maybe looking for a different type of pupil there?
Ooh. I mean, a pupil's a pupil. You're
Should we
only
go-
using one color. I think the pupils would be the same, but we would have like a different color eye, right?
I have orange, pink, yellow.
Right. Oh yeah, maybe you could have a little orange.
Orange pupils.
Right. So it went from a
Okay,
hint
all
of
right.
brown to green eyes. Now he's got orange eyes. This is
Yeah, the Gen Z really likes the orange.
They do actually, yeah. All right. So and we'll throw the fans a bone. We'll still give him the classic, but now the muzzle here, as they call it. Do you like that shape? Do you like just like the classic rounded, or do you want like maybe more definition for the mouth? Like, what are you feeling?
right. I mean, if this is 2004, I'd be like, it's just all right angles, right? Like, look at that extreme man. But maybe, right. Like, it's a little round until it's not anymore, right?
Do you want the mouth in the center so we can just throw that whole side mouth thing out the window?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, let's give him a center mouth. Let him be able to.
He kind of looks like the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing model now. How about the nose? We got to get that nose in there. Bigger nose, smaller nose, different shape, maybe?
Trying to think, like, so he's angled a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah, so it's going like that.
Right.
It wouldn't be like in front of his eye. It'd be like, okay, I see.
Maybe
Has his nose changed a lot on the
Jimmy
models?
Durante, like going down, like
Oh,
kids
right.
like Jimmy Durante, right?
That's sort of like a.
Jimmy.
It feels like a Looney Tunes thing as well. Like the really long, like a Droopy, right? Like Droopy has a really. Sonic's gonna have a longer. All right. Oh, okay.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Well, now it's not. It's kind of flipped down, so it's not covering the eyes anymore.
Okay.
So you get a nice look at his beautiful eyes. The muzzle here. Should we give him a
What if you
chin?
go small muzzle? Like chin and a small muzzle. Like give him a nice little. There we go. Yeah.
Smaller muzzle. Look at that.
Yeah. Okay. A little different.
That's nice. All right, let's focus on the ears. Let's see. What ears are we looking for here? Longer, shorter, maybe. I'm thinking.
What if his ears have a little flop? Like they're not straight up. They're like
Maybe we could do one flop.
a little bend to it at the end.
Right.
He's kind of turning into a dog. Now, okay. So I got something really cool. This is something that just came in from Sega of America. They said he collects rings. How about we give him a ring piercing?
Oh, okay.
This
I like
is
it.
Sonic for the next generation. This is Gen
I
Z
like it.
Sonic now.
Yeah.
What is that new haircut that the kids have? Like
The curly kind of like carrot top kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, give him.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
Maybe
He's got a lot
like
of
kind of gelled up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
And he's got a little more definition. It's almost like he's always supersonic.
Oh.
He gelled it up. Because kids loved... After Frontiers, kids were like, we need more Sonic as super, so let's just gel it up. I'm really liking the look of this. How about the torso? Are we looking for like maybe a return to the round, or maybe accentuate it more?
Maybe he's hiding it. He's wearing a jacket.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I was going to recommend putting the scarf back on.
Not only do I like the jacket, but this is actually a callback to his origins, right?
Right.
So this is Sonic in his bomber jacket.
Yes.
Look at that. And
That's how you know it's for the fans, because he's got the jacket.
No, he's putting one hand in the pocket, but we'll get the other hand out of there. Don't worry. He's kind of like
right.
Hey, what's up? He's a little coy. And the fun thing is with Sharpies is the longer you smell them, the weirder your drawings get.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
that's why all the Marvel comics in the '60s, it was just strictly marker.
We do get a little hint of his little tummy there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I like this so far. And when you see it head on, it looks even better. This is at an angle, but you'll see. How about the gloves? So we will be debuting a new hand for him.
Right.
This is going in a totally different direction from what I was thinking would go, and I love it.
Oh really? Yeah. I mean, he's got to have a glove on.
Okay.
But
Fingerless glove?
You know, yeah, the kids love the fingerless gloves.
Yeah, let's do that. I like it.
So he's like, look at that. I'm loving it already.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. This is cool. This is a Sonic for the next generation.
Right.
Now we're getting, should we give a hint of a tail? I feel like it would be kind of like the hair. It would kind of be going up, and it's got a little more definition.
He's gelling his tail every night as well.
He is.
Okay.
This is Sonic if he aged. He actually was aging in real time. This is Sonic at 35. Like you see him, he's done the Ozempic. He's walking the red carpet. You're like, I haven't seen Sonic in years, but here he is.
He's looking good.
Pants or no pants? Shorts or just bottomless, like he's Donald ducking it?
I feel like he'd be ducking it. I don't think Sonic doesn't like pants.
Hyper realistic genitals? I don't think so.
It's a family program.
What if he just walked around and was just out? He's like, guys, I'm done hiding it. I have one. We all have one. Look at it. Like dogs have them. We see dogs. I watched what was that? Airbud, like one of those Airbud spin-offs the other day. One of the dogs had one just hanging out. So I'm not going to do it though.
No, right. I think in the industry they call it you're crazy frogging it when you leave it out. When you're having
so there's this. We're just gonna we're gonna kind of go normal with the legs. That said, the shoes. We need to do something about those shoes. Yeah.
Nike sponsorship. Just like put a swoosh on it.
Well,
Get
yeah.
rid of the
So
old design.
maybe he's got socks now, but they're kind of pulled up. They're not bunched up anymore.
Okay.
They're almost like leggings
I was
a
going to
little
say
bit.
that socks, like kind of like he's wearing like long socks, like
Yeah.
ankle socks.
And then for the shoes,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you don't really want to, break what's already working. So I feel like you want the shoes as they are, but maybe with they're like little beetle boots, maybe.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, a little beetle boots with the stripe.
Like, well, Michael
Yeah.
that Michael movie is a big box office sensation. So I think we should just lean right into the bad boots and really go like full buckles, multiple buckles.
Yeah, you've got to keep them on. How is it going to keep them on without the buckles? Okay.
Here we go.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think this is the Sonic for the new generation. Let me zoom it out. There's Sonic.
There he is.
We've redesigned. This is actually going to be releasing next week. Sega of America will be debuting it. I hate to say this, but I actually was removed from that that event that they were doing, that live stream fan event, just because I actually leaked this. I was like, guys, is this getting released? And they were like, you're not on it anymore. But yeah, there he is.
And,
I like this. This is almost an OC. I think it is an OC.
That is definitely an OC. What you've made.
I'm gonna cut him out and
Right,
just
like,
kind of have
name,
him in the room here.
Right, like name, Barry the Hedgehog, age.
No, this is Sonic at 35.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, no.
Your OC, his full name is Sonic at 35 the Hedgehog.
Yeah. I'll have to put that on there. Here, let me just finish it off. So he is. It's Sonic. Ken Penders is gonna like sue me now. He'll be like, I can only do that. Gotta do
That's right.
Sonico. At.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, I knew. I was going to say.
This is his email address.
Yeah, Sonic at 35.
Oh yeah, I'm at Sonic at 35, the Hedgehog.
All right. Is there a 35.com?
There should be. I bet it's a porn site.
Yeah, I like went to almost type that in and realized, no, I probably should not do that.
Welcome to 35.com, your only site for
check
the
it out.
hottest 35-year-olds. There we go. Sonic at 35, the Hedgehog.
Sonic Go!
There he is.
There he is.
Did it.
So
That's
there
your
will be.
brand
Maybe next time Roger Craig Smith comes to town, I'll come up and be like, "Could you sign my picture, sir? I made it for you." I want to give this to him, and then when he does his little post-convention Instagram post, he's like, "I got so much art from fans," and it'll be like Sonic at 35, the Hedgehog.
Oh my god.
Maybe this is
Got a
the
lot
new
of-
mascot for Sonic Retro.
That's right.
You didn't say
We'll
no.
put it on the front page.
You could.
Yeah.
Well,
We can
I mean,
you can just open up a whole new like page somewhere where people can like add content for it. You know, search it
Yeah.
up. Sonic at 35, the Hedgehog. You know, we can use this as the source.
yeah, I think that works.
Right. If
so
Angel Fire was still going, I'd say make him an Angel Fire page. Do it.
I could. Well, I think that is as good a time as any of ending our look back at Sonic Adventure 2 at 25 years old. I want to thank my guest hosts for this episode of the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show Live. David from Sonic Retro and Sonic Weekly, which is coming back, right?
Yeah, it's coming back soon. We haven't. It's soon. I don't know exactly when. I don't want to say it's definitely coming back for next week.
Yeah.
Because if I say that and then it doesn't happen, I'm lying.
Might be nothing to talk
but
about
it
next
is-
week.
Right. I think it probably does depend what is announced, and if it's nothing, well, we'll be back soon anyway, because there's always something to talk about involving Sonic T. Hedgehog. Look
That's
at me,
true.
It's going. Right.
And Steve, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find your music?
It's the way it's spelled right here, APOC at Bandcamp or apoc.bandcamp.com.
Cool.
So,
And then, do you have any games coming out with your music, or what's the latest release?
I got a couple things in the hopper, but nothing that is like coming out that's like completely cooked yet. So we'll see. I think something that's going to be announced at Tokyo Game Show is coming up, but I can't talk about it too much.
Okay. Well, keep your eyes peeled to Tokyo Game Show. And thank you so much for all the people who joined us on the live stream. We will be back again for a SEGAbits Swingin' Report show live in the near future. In the meantime, we'll see you next time on this podcast. I almost did the other podcast, but it's not that one. So that's how you do it. And people can hear us right now, but I'm going to mute myself.